Hey guys, Tristan here, and today we have Raven's very first upgrade. So for this upgrade, it's going to be something very basic, something that pretty much every RC should have, and that's ball bearings for the suspension. So yeah, I got myself some Panther rubber sealed bearings. You guys can see the seal in them are orange. What that means, probably nothing. But yeah guys, so it's going to be very basic, very simple. Pretty much it's going to be the same on both sides for both front and rear tires. So let's get into this. I'm going to start off by removing all 4 tires, and each one is going to be held on with a single 7mm nut. To make this a little easier, I'm going to be removing the one kingpin that holds the steering block to the caster block. Before we can remove the bushings, we're going to need to remove the hex hub and spindle. So to get the hex hub off, we're going to need to take a flathead screwdriver and pry the hex hub on up. There's also going to be a little pin that holds it in place, as well as a small Teflon washer. Now we can just pull the spindle right on off, and take our flathead and push both bushings out of the steering block. So just gotta work it until they come out, just like that. Now we can take our new bearings, slide them into their place, just like so. Then we can put everything back into place. I'll take our spindle, slide it right on in, followed by our Teflon washer. Then we're going to take our little pin, which is rolling away from me, slide it into the little hole of the spindle before taking our hex hub and sliding it into place. Once we have that back in place, we're going to take our steering block, slide it back into our caster, and screw in that one kingpin that held it in place at the bottom of the caster block right here. To get to the axle carrier, I'm going to be removing the screw that holds the camber link in place, as well as the kingpin that holds the axle carrier to the A-arm. To replace the bushings on the axle carrier, it's very similar to the front on the steering blocks. What we're going to do is pry the hex hub on up, just like so. Going to pry the little pin out of the drive shaft, just like that. There's going to be, and I just dropped everything, but there's going to be a Teflon washer on the outside, as well as the inside. Usually it just goes with the drive shaft. That's where it's the key difference between the two. Other than that, it's just like before. Pop out the bearings or bushings. Then we're going to take the new bearings, slide them into place, and then put everything else back together. Axle with the Teflon washer on it, slide it into place, followed by another Teflon washer. The little pin that holds the hex hub into place, just like that. And finally, the hex hub itself. And putting it back together is as easy as it was taking it apart. We're going to take our drive shaft and slide it into the other half that's attached to the transmission before taking our shoulder screw, screwing it in to the camber link, and then taking our kingpin and sliding it through the A-arm. Alright guys, the last thing we need to do is to take our tires and slide them right onto the axles, just like that, and screw down the 7mm nut that holds it in place. And there you have it guys, that is Raven's level 1 upgrade. So I gotta say that these bearings do their job perfectly. This tire spins pretty much completely 100% free. So I am very happy with having these ball bearings. They run smoothly like you guys can see. So definitely, if you guys have bushings in your RCs, highly recommend replacing them, because bushings are not the way to go. Now they're brass, so they are self-lubricating, but over time they will wear out, and so will your drive shafts. So I highly recommend replacing them with some kind of ball bearing. Doesn't really matter brand, because at the end of the day, with how small they are, they don't really make a difference for brand. I know Boca Bearing's supposed to be this really great bearing makers, but their bearings are extremely expensive. So I'd say just get with what you can, and that's pretty much it. So guys, I will see you all in the next video, because I have a lot of things to do to this RC and not a lot of time.